beings have always looked for strength, security, and guidance in one another. From the earliest tribes to the most advanced nations, people have trusted leaders, scientists, philosophers, kings, and even their own intelligence as the ultimate source of power. But history is full of lessons that reveal the limits of human trust. No matter how wise, how strong, or how visionary a person may be, they are still bound by weakness, by mortality, by imperfection. They rise and fall. They succeed and fail. They promise and then break promises. To put absolute trust in people is like building a house on sand. It may stand for a while, but the first storm will wash it away. Trusting in God, however, is like building on a rock, unshakable, eternal, and beyond all failure. This is the essence of the truth we often forget, and the truth that science itself indirectly testifies to without naming the source. Think for a moment about the greatest civilizations of the past: Egypt, Babylon, Rome, Greece, mighty empires that ruled the world, shaped culture, and dazzled their contemporaries with power and knowledge. Each thought its greatness would last forever. Each believed its human leaders and systems were invincible. Yet, where are they now? They exist only in ruins, in books, in museums. Their people trusted human rulers, human strategies, human gods carved out of stone, but they all crumble. Why? Because anything built solely on human power has an expiry date. People are limited. Their wisdom is temporary. Their systems collapse under the weight of time. But when you trust in God, you are trusting the one who transcends time, who never changes, who does not fail. That trust is not limited to centuries or generations. It is eternal. Even in our modern world, we see the fragility of human trust. Nations put their faith in economies and financial markets and global institutions. A single crash, a single pandemic, a single war can shake it all to the core. People put their faith in technology, in machines, and artificial intelligence, but every system eventually faces flaws, bugs, breakdowns, or misuse. We trust doctors, and they save lives, but they are also human and cannot guarantee immortality. We trust leaders, and they inspire nations, but they can also mislead millions. We trust friends, and they stand with us, but they can also betray us. The pattern is clear. When trust is placed only in human beings, disappointment is inevitable. And yet this disappointment itself is a reminder to shift our trust to the one who never fails, the creator who designed the very laws of nature that even scientists study. The laws of physics, chemistry, and biology are perfect examples of divine reliability. Human beings did not write these laws. They only discovered them. Gravity does not forget to work. The sun does not fail to rise. Water does not stop quenching thirst. Oxygen does not suddenly decide to change its composition. These natural laws are constants, and they point to the one who authored them. Trust in God means trusting the source of all constants, the one who keeps the universe in perfect balance. Human beings cannot even control their own breath for long without help. Yet God controls the breath of every creature on earth simultaneously without error. How can we place absolute trust in people when their power is so small compared to the infinite control of the Creator? Consider the human mind. It is powerful, creative, and capable of extraordinary innovation. It builds airplanes, splits atoms, creates medicines, and sends rockets into space. But the human mind is also forgetful, biased, and prone to error. It can be corrupted by greed, blinded by pride, or weakened by fear. Trusting only in human intellect is like trusting a candle to light the entire world. It burns brightly for a moment, but it eventually melts away. God, however, is like the sun, eternal and inexhaustible. When we trust him, we are not depending on temporary sparks, but on the eternal source of all life. Even in personal life, the lesson repeats itself. People trust their careers to bring security, yet jobs can be lost in a moment. People trust relationships to bring happiness, yet they can change, break, or fade. People trust their health to remain strong, but a single illness can change everything. Every part of life that depends solely on human power is unstable. But when your trust is in God, you find peace even in chaos, stability even in storms, and strength even in weakness. This is not blind faith. It is the most rational choice, because only God has proven throughout history to be unchanging, all-knowing, and ever-present. Science itself unintentionally teaches us this lesson. For centuries, scientists have corrected one another. What was once thought certain is later revised. The earth was once believed to be the center of the universe. Then it was proven not to be. Diseases once thought incurable are now treatable. Ideas once celebrated are now abandoned. This constant change is proof of human limitation. Scientists are seekers of truth, not owners of it. Their discoveries are fragments of a greater design they did not create. Trusting them blindly is dangerous, not because science is bad, but because it is incomplete. Trusting God, however, connects you to the author of truth itself, the one who designed what science studies. He is not limited by laboratories or instruments. He is beyond time and space, and his wisdom encompasses all that is known and unknown. When you trust God, you're not rejecting people or knowledge, you're placing them in their proper place. You respect science, but you do not worship it. You follow leaders, but you do not idolize them. You rely on friends, but you do not make them your ultimate anchor. Instead, your anchor is God, and everything else is secondary. This perspective changes everything. It gives you balance when others lose control. It gives you clarity when others are confused. It gives you strength when others collapse. It transforms the way you see success, because success is no longer about temporary achievements, but about alignment with the eternal will of God. Trusting God is not about ignoring reality. It is about seeing reality more clearly. It is recognizing that every human being, no matter how brilliant, is still a creation, not the creator. It is understanding that the same God who designed galaxies also designed your life with purpose. And if he can control the stars, he can control your future. This trust frees you from fear, because you know that even when people fail you, God never will. It frees you from despair, because you know that even when doors close, he can open new ones. It frees you from pride, because you know that your victories are not by your power alone, but by his grace. And it frees you from dependence on unstable things, because your heart is anchored to the only unshakable foundation. Science has always amazed humanity with its discoveries, inventions, and the power to reveal what lies hidden in the vast universe. From the microscopic world of cells and atoms to the infinite galaxies spread across the cosmos, science has opened doors of understanding that once seemed impossible to enter. Yet as much as science explains, as much as it describes, there is something it consistently avoids mentioning, something it hesitates to acknowledge, and that is God, the source behind everything that exists. When scientists uncover a new law of physics, when they map the human genome, when they detect signals from deep space, they are not creating truth, they are only uncovering it. The truth was already there, written into the fabric of existence, long before human minds could comprehend it. But the question remains, who placed that truth there? Who designed such flawless systems that even the most brilliant minds struggle to fully understand? This is where trust comes in, because while people may explain mechanisms, only faith in God explains meaning. Think about gravity. Every child learns that what goes up must come down. Newton wrote the law, but did Newton create gravity? Absolutely not. He discovered what was already in existence. And that law continues to hold planets in orbit, keeps oceans from drifting into space, and allows you and me to stand firmly on the ground. But why is gravity so precise, so finely tuned, so balanced? If gravity were even slightly weaker or stronger, life as we know it would collapse. Scientists are shocked by this delicate balance, but most of them stop at the mechanics. They tell us this is how it works, but they don't mention who made it work. That silence leaves a void, and that void is where faith speaks. Look deeper into biology. The human cell is more complex than any machine ever built. DNA is like a divine language written with 4 letters, carrying within it all the instructions of life. Scientists have unlocked parts of this code. They can edit genes, they can manipulate cells, but they're still students in a school they did not build. Every time they cut open a cell and peer inside, they are entering a sacred design that was crafted with wisdom beyond imagination. The DNA strand, billions of letters long, holds information no human mind could write. Scientists call it nature or evolution or random mutation, but they avoid saying the simple truth. There is a designer. And this is the difference between trusting science alone and trusting in God. Science can tell you what the code looks like. God is the one who wrote it. When astronomers point their telescopes to the heavens, they see galaxies stretching beyond comprehension, stars so massive that our sun is like a grain of sand compared to them, and black holes that bend time itself. Every new image from space shocks the world. They say the universe is expanding. The Big Bang started it all. Dark matter holds galaxies together. But even as they stand in awe of these mysteries, the one truth that gives these discoveries meaning is often unspoken. Who lit the spark of the Big Bang? Who gave order to chaos? Who holds galaxies in their place? It is not random chance. It is not blind coincidence. It is the deliberate act of God. And while scientists may be too cautious to admit it, every discovery whispers his name. Why then do so many put blind trust in scientists, in experts, in human minds, without ever questioning their limitations? People admire Nobel Prize winners. They celebrate groundbreaking research, but they forget that every scientist is still a human being, flawed, temporary, and limited. 100 years ago, scientists said the universe was static. Then they discovered it was expanding. Tomorrow they may discover even more. And what they thought was final truth may turn out incomplete. That is the nature of human knowledge. Always changing, always evolving, always uncertain. But God's truth never changes. His design does not evolve to correct mistakes because it was perfect from the beginning. So while science can shock us with what it finds, it cannot replace the certainty that comes from trusting the creator of it all. Even the very tools scientists use, the laws of mathematics, logic, and reason, did not come from them. These are eternal principles woven into existence. Why is 2 + 2 always 4? Why does water boil at 100 degrees Celsius under pressure? Why does light travel at the exact same speed everywhere in the universe? These constants are not inventions of mankind. They are signatures of divine order. Every discovery is a page in the book of God's creation, but many scientists read without acknowledging the author. That is why trust in people, even brilliant scientists, is limited, because they only reveal fragments of a larger truth. Trust in God, however, connects you to the source of all truth. This is why the greatest mistake we can make is to think that science is against faith. True science does not deny God, it leads to him. The more we learn about the complexity of life, the more we should realize it cannot be an accident. The more we explore the universe, the more we should recognize it is not purposeless. Every equation, every law, every discovery is a reflection of divine wisdom. Trusting God means understanding that behind every discovery lies a designer who not only created the universe, but sustains it every moment. Without him, science would have nothing to study because there would be no order, no laws, no existence at all. So when scientists reveal a shocking discovery and then fall silent about the source, it is not because he is absent. It is because they choose not to mention him. But silence does not erase truth. The fingerprints of God are on every atom, every star, every heartbeat. And while people may stop at the surface, those who trust in God see beyond. They understand that knowledge without acknowledgement is incomplete. True wisdom is not just knowing the laws of creation, but recognizing the lawgiver. And that is why in the journey of success, in the pursuit of meaning, we are called not to trust in people alone, but to trust in God, the one who gave us everything. Science studies but cannot fully explain. Good luck on your journey. May your trust in God lead you to doors that no one can close, to victories that no one can take away, and to peace that no storm can destroy. Thank you for listening, and may your future shine with success that comes not from people, but from the